So this year, a lot of ryes got released. A lot of them were hitters, some of them not so much. If you want to find out what our top 5 ryes are, then stick around. All right, Randy. So we've got our top 5 ryes of the year.
Mm-hmm. Got some hitters.
So, not as many ryes I think got released this year.
No, I mean rice just by its nature a smaller category in the United States.
Yeah, and none of these are finished.
Mm-hmm.
So not that there weren't a lot of really good finished ryes, but it just so happened that all the top 5 ended up being straight.
Yeah, probably my favorite finished rye this year was the Angel's Envy cash strength rye.
That was good.
It was good, but I hate to mix the two.
Yeah.
When you're doing blind tastings, it's like the finished ones stick out.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorites also was Rye 3, but again, didn't really, it was just, there's no way that it would have been stuck out like a sore thumb. Yeah. So anyway, these are the 5.
These are the
in
5.
No particular order.
And we have Ian here from Patreon.
Yes.
So Ian's a top level Patreon member, and when you're at the top level, not only can you suggest a show idea, but you get to come on as a guest if you would like.
Yep.
So what do you say we start revealing our top ryes from 2023?
Yeah. So one of my favorites happened to be in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up 2 bottles of this, and obviously you knew which one it was. Man, I don't know what the hell Jack Daniels is doing, but I feel like
hot fire.
I mean, anything that comes out in this bottle or in some sort of squatty bottle, is just hitter.
What do you think about the people who are still trying to hold on to their superior in the whiskey world because they know to hate Jack Daniels?
I don't know. I mean, I've talked to people before, and I've said, "Oh man, have you tried this? Have you tried?" All from Jack, and there's a lot of poo poo.
I know
on the Jack, and man, I've just been a big fan of so many of their products that have come out this year. So
if you're out there at home. And Jack Daniels does have some unique, consistent flavor characteristics that stick out in their whiskey, and you may not like that, and that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people that you got super drunk on Jack Daniels when you were in high school,
not the same,
and now you want to tell everybody that it's rot gut and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You, at this point, you look silly. I mean, the Jack Daniels special releases are bangers.
And this isn't even a special release.
Yeah, this is
it's on the shelf.
Extension.
And
right?
now this particular bottle, though, I grabbed 2 of them just because this was earlier in the year when they started releasing them, and I think they were charging the point system. So it was at retail, but I had to pay like however many points that I had just to get the bottle. And they did let me get 2 of them, and the other one I crushed. It was so good. I let you try it at my house. You were blown away by it as well. And so this one is the last one I've got of this particular barrel. It's a hot one, 136.6. But anyways, that's one of my favorites of this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love this one so much that I bought 3 of them. They're not as hot as Aaron's here, but they're in that 130 range. It's such a hitter.
Bangers.
And
sure.
And that's kind of the problem with including this in your list because they are single barrels and there is a little bit of variance.
But I've had others as well. I mean, it's just
I have 2 open.
Yeah.
And I've tried others.
Yeah, they're all
good.
They
don't make it bad.
Yeah, they're all good. It's just that this one in particular was my favorite out of all the ones that I've bought. And so I had to include it in the list.
So in no particular order, Ian, what do you got?
One of my favorites that I tried at Captain Hill's Distillery actually the first time.
That's cool.
Was the Parker's Heritage? Yeah, I actually got to try this along with the William Heavenhill 17.
Oh, really? Wow.
This blew this out of the water with that one.
Yeah, this one was one that I really love the Parker Heritage Collection. there's been some hits. There's been, some misses.
This was definitely a hitter.
But this one was a hitter, and you get bottles, and there's all this hype, and you open them, and you have all this expectation.
Yeah.
I had relatively low expectations of this one.
I had zero expectations when we reviewed it.
And when I opened it and I tasted it, I was like, what are they doing with their rye?
Surprisingly, it reminded me. I think it was a 51% rye. Is that what the mash bill is on this
51,
one? So,
yeah.
And this one I think it's 70.
I think it's 70.
So it's still a little bit lower. I guess the middle of the road. But this one kind of did remind me of the Jack as far as flavor profile as well. I loved this rye.
Yeah, and the Parker Heritage Rye, it's got that connection to the former master distiller that passed away from ALS. A portion of every single bottle of Parker Heritage goes to ALS research because the distillery has decided to honor his name in that way. So that's kind of interesting. So you get to feel good about supporting a good cause and drink some unique whiskey. So what do we got for number 3?
Randy?
Yes. So this is... Usually, when people ask me, like, what are your favorite whiskeys? I say George C. Stagg, William LaRue Weller, and Thomas H. Handy.
Right, which I hated on you.
Yeah, you did.
Being the classic Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, whatever. I'm a tater. I'm a tater.
You are a tater.
You know what's funny is we've got that. We have those shorts that company produced for us.
Yeah.
And they'll take these 60-second clips and put them out there. And the people that watch those, they're not like whiskey enthusiasts. They have no idea what's going on. And they say the most hateful things in the comments. And so there was a clip about, like, what is the tater? And people have just come in there and they're like, how dare you? How dare you call people names? And I'm like, watch the full-length video.
Right.
I've done literally everything on the tater list.
Right.
Everything.
Self-proclaimed tater.
Self-proclaimed, yeah. So, Thomas H. Handy.
This is a good one.
It's a good one. It's part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. It's the youngest of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Only 6 years old.
Yeah.
But
it's my third favorite out of the BTACs as well.
Is it? Yeah.
GTS. I mean, honestly, the William LaRue Weller and this could go some years back and forth. What would you, Ian?
It tends to be my second favorite. I mean, I put the GTS right above it, but man, this one, it comes in with a punch. And it does that every single year it comes out.
So this one is interesting because 2023 had less of a pine needle note to it or a pine cone note, which is a consistent characteristic that I get on Thomas Handy. And for instance, 2019, it was so prevalent that it started to taste the way that pine sol smells.
Yeah.
And it tasted like a cleaning agent.
2019.
Yeah.
2019? Yeah. And so it's funny because, I've said that and people are like, you've drank pine sol? And I'm like, no.
Maybe.
But yeah, I was trying to develop my palate. Don't judge me.
Right.
But no, I've smelled pine sol and it tasted the way pine sol smells. But no, this year was excellent, very well balanced, finished for days.
Yeah, I always love Andy.
So it's definitely got to be on the list. Okay.
What do we got next? We got...
let's throw this guy up.
Yeah.
So our good friend over at Mash and Drum, Jason, gave this some good...
I think that was his number 1 of the year.
Gave this some good praise. This is the Sagamore 8-year.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so... my understanding is that Sagamore, let's see if they've got it on here, if they have a state of distillation. Yeah. And so Sagamore bottles the same whiskey as the Prideful Goat does.
Oh, is it Kentucky?
No, it's from MGP.
Oh, MGP.
Yeah, it's MGP because they're rye.
Okay.
Right?
Oh,
And
right, for the rye. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
so they have the MGP rye. They do have some of the 51% rye and 95% rye.
And do we know what this is?
I don't know.
Okay.
And often when they do these special releases, they'll blend the two barrels together, so it's not exactly the same.
Okay.
Because what Prideful Goat has is all 95% rye. And so, but really love this brand, respect the brand.
I thought that was a super well balanced rye for this year.
Brian Tracy, their CEO, has been very kind to me and the Prideful Goat in the past. I've been like his assistant in a tasting when he was doing like a lead tasting at an event that I was at. So I love this brand. But I'm excited about this one and all the praise that it got because not only is it an excellent rye, but I have an 8-year rye from the Prideful Goat coming out in the next couple of weeks.
That's right.
And so I'm hoping that it is as good as this one.
I wonder how that will fare for the rise of 2024. Hopefully.
I don't know.
Hopefully it'll make it to the party.
Yeah, we did good on Fred's list when we released the 6-year rye.
Yeah, that was a hitter for sure.
And we were Matt's number 1 rye of the year.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did pick you guys.
Yeah. So this one got me excited that it was on the list just because of the connection with the Prideful Goat and how much I love the brand. So, and for those of you who don't know, the founder of Sagamore Spirits was the owner of Under Armour clothing company.
Really? Did not know that.
Yeah, owner of the Under Armour clothing company. So very well funded, and he wanted to bring back to prevalence the manufacture and sell of rye whiskey from the Baltimore
I've
area.
not had a Sagamore that I haven't liked.
Oh, yeah.
So pre-Prohibition, the area of like Baltimore, Maryland, where they're from, it was the epicenter for rye production, and the Prohibition killed that, and so they knew that, and so when they were starting their company, they wanted to bring that back to prevalence. So there's a historical significance.
Yeah.
To this
And I know that you don't like sherry finished whiskeys typically.
I don't.
Their
dislike
sherry
them, but
was amazing, but I didn't want to include that because
we're trying
it's
to.
kind of an annual thing. I mean, I typically can find that on the shelves. I don't think that's like a special. And I don't know if this is something that you can just always give it. I know it was released this year. I think I got it in April or May. So.
All right. So again, in no particular order, last but not least, Ian, you want to do the honors?
It's the Old Overholt 10-year.
10-year. Seen a lot of press about this guy.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It had a kind of a creaminess and a pepperiness to it that I really liked. So, and I think this is Beam. Did we say that we think it might be like similar to the same mash bill as Booker's? They only have one mash bill.
They only have one rye mash bill. And how old was Booker's rye?
I think it was 13. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it was
12, 13, somewhere in that range. And so for years I've said the only alternative to Booker's rye is Knob Creek cask strength.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Because Old Overholt is typically not a cask strength product.
Right, it's usually bottled in bond or something like that.
Right. And but then they came out with this cask strength 10-year, which is the closest in age and proof that they've released since the Booker's rye.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't get a Booker's rye, or if you tried it and you understand it's unobtainium now, this is probably the closest you're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, it's one I still see in stores around here. I'll admit this is my first time trying it today, but it's one I'm definitely want to go and pick.
I mean, for $100, I think. I mean, that's in my opinion, for a 10-year-old, that's the great. I mean, I think the last 10-year-old rye that I bought was Kentucky Howl, which the batch 4, which I don't even know how much I paid for that, and I don't want.
Probably $189 or something.
Oh no. More? Yeah. I think it was closer to $300. That was at retail.
Yeah, so cool. Kentucky Outrise are they made my most disappointed list because
The price.
the first year that they came out, I want to say I bought 7 bottles of Kentucky
I
Outrise.
bought a few,
one.
batch 1, yeah.
And every time I'd find one, I'd buy it. I think it was $140.
They dropped the year down to 10 on batch 4.
Yeah, and then after
cranked the
after
price.
that, the prices kept going up and up and up and up. And I guess that's what happened when giant corporate overlords come in and buy you.
So. But yeah, I think that the 10-year Old Overholt, it's such a difficult freaking name to say.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the
Weird.
tongue.
Old Overholt.
Old Overholt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I just picked this up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So these are your top 5 Rise of 2023.
So I'm interested to see how these fare in a blind, because we're going to do a blind, and we're going to rank them 1 to 5.
Okay.
And so I'm interested to see how they come out on top. And so also I think it would be cool if we maybe gave some of this away.
Yeah, let's give 1 ounce sample pack away so that you can try these at home. All you need to do to enter the free giveaway is to like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment on this video, and you have to go to the video description, click the link to register. We will run a randomizer publicly. Whoever the winner is, I'll reach out, get your mailing information, and I'll mail a sample pack of 5 ounces total, 1 ounce from each one of these bottles to you absolutely for free. And if you enjoyed this content, we'd love for you to consider supporting the channel. Of course, we have a Patreon. That's your opportunity to sign up at several different levels. We've got very affordable levels. We have some that are a little bit more expensive, like Ian has chosen here. But there's different member benefits for each level. And so you can click the link in the video description below to see what all you can get access to. Truth of the matter is, we offer things in Patreon that you will never be able to get on your own as a whiskey enthusiast, and it can be an awful lot of fun. But that's not the only way to support us. You can also purchase our merch at bourbonrealtalk.com. If you are a whiskey lover and you go to that website, I promise you're going to find something that you feel like you can't live without. We got custom glassware, custom bottle carrying bags, aroma kits to develop your senses so that you can break down whiskeys and everything in between. So go check that out. And, shameless plug, my real estate business has been supporting this channel for years. And I am a residential real estate agent and operate in the Dallas and Houston metro areas. So if you need service in either of those areas, you can click my real estate website in the link below. And Aaron is my lender.
Yep, I work as a mortgage broker, so I've got really competitive rates, control my pricing. If you are in the market for a home or looking to refinance, I think my link is down below, or you can leave a comment and we can get in touch with you. But I'd love to be able to help you out if you're looking for purchasing a home.
So if this is your first time tuning in, we'd love to thank you for the view and tell you a little bit about the philosophy of this channel. And we are all about bringing people together around whiskey. And that's something that is personally important to me because I lost a loved one to suicide. And as one does, whenever you lose someone, you try to go back over what led up to that decision that they made. And I had talked to some of my brother's friends, and I found out that he had started to lose a lot of his social connections and was feeling alone. And I was getting more involved in the whiskey enthusiast community at that time, and I saw how whiskey was bringing people together. And I thought, maybe if I can help you get connected to whiskey, whiskey will do the rest of the job and get you connected to others so that you don't feel alone. And so that's why we started Bourbon Real Talk Community. But if you're going to facilitate connection, you do have to have a forum. So we created an absolutely free Facebook-based forum called Bourbon Real Talk Community. And it is free of negativity and trolls, which is something that you need, because if you get online and you join the enthusiast community, you'll see there's a lot of negativity out there.
Trolls.
I hate trolls. They make it no fun.
In all communities.
In all communities. And it's not just the whiskey community.
No.
They're all over the place.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, we don't know if their moms held them too much when they were a baby.
Probably.
Or too little.
Maybe.
But there's something wrong. And they cause problems. And so, but they did teach us a very important and valuable lesson. And that is that if those people can hate you, even though you're a stranger to them online, there's nothing that keeps us from loving you, even though you're a stranger to us online. And that is why we end every episode the same way, and that's this. If you woke up this morning and you're unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that we love you. We'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk.
Cheers.
Cheers.